respond to the 100,000 911 calls, but this week apparently now they do again. She also, because remember she had responded to Donald Trump, who kind of mocked her "It's a Summer of Love" situation. She wrote, "Seattle is fine. Don't be so afraid of democracy." Now she says, in the past 2 nights, 3 different people have been shot at CHOP. 2 were injured, and 1 has tragically died. Any incidents of gun violence in our city are deeply concerning to me, our residents, our businesses, the police chief, and the greater community. So now they're going to go in there, and they're going to break up CHOP, because it is guns. Now it's guns, so now they're concerned about it. Apparently, gun violence is the thing that's breaking this up. But
they weren't concerned about the gun violence last week.
No.
I mean, last week, she honestly, verbally allowed them to have it. She said there's no problem there. It doesn't apply to these guys. She has taken the guns away from everyone else except them just last week. Well, because they were going to keep the community safe, because, who can't trust a Marxist revolutionary?
She has to be one of the worst public figures in America. The fact that you would just give up 6 blocks against your police wishes, by the way, including the police chief, who happens to be a black woman, who was saying, please don't make... She was apologizing to her own officers about how she was forced to treat them after they were defending this area. Now, after all the violence that every single person on Earth predicted, except her, apparently, now that that's happened, they have to go back in and undo all the damage. All these, they were like, oh, well, they've set up a hospital. Where'd they set it up? In the parking lot of a taco restaurant. Well, what the hell happens to the taco restaurant? Right? Like, they've just now had all of these businesses ruined. They've had graffiti sprayed on every inch of every building. They've had fires. They've had murders. They've had rapes. They've had assaults. And this little experiment has now gone to the place where it's so bad, even the idiotic mayor who instituted it is now against it. And you think this is going to go easy? No, they're going to take back that precinct peacefully? Are they? It's going to be interesting to watch. I have a lot of faith in the officers, but I don't know how that's going to happen.
I have 2 things. One, property values in Seattle are going to go down, so housing will be more affordable because of the lawlessness. So congratulations on that. You've just destroyed your property values, at least in the Capitol Hill area. The second thing, and by the way, that's not me saying that. That's studies that have shown that you set your city back at least 10 years. In the 1960s, the urban communities didn't come back for decades. Decades they were set back. So congratulations on that, Seattle. The second thing is, do you think this is why Donald Trump didn't go in? And do you think this is why she allowed this to happen for so long? That she was expecting Donald Trump to go in, and perhaps he was smart enough to know, if I send in the National Guard, we talked about this before, you send in the National Guard, the media is going to be there, they're going to shoot a rubber bullet or something, somebody gets hurt, and then the global story is how American soldiers invade an American city and shoot African Americans. And now she realizes he's not going to do anything. So I guess we have to do it. And now the police really are being set up, because the police now have to go in and do it. I would say, if I were the police commissioner, I'd say, you know what? We tried to save it. We told you. We're not going in. We're not going in. You and the Seattle City Council can go in and talk to these peace-loving individuals and tell them to get out. And when you do that, then we'll have your back. But, it's a summer of love. So why don't you go up there and just all of you meet with them and convince them to leave because of the violence. You go do that. If I were the police commissioner, I know it would be... I would do it. That's why I'm not a police commissioner, because that's exactly what I would do. I'm not sending a single officer in there until you people go in.
Yeah, this totally
because I'm not going to be your fall guy.
It proves exactly why we're not officers, because we would be terrible at this. I have said this 100 times. If I was in Minneapolis or Atlanta, there's no chance I would show up at work. There would be zero, if it was up to me, 0 officers on the streets in both of those cities forever. However, luckily these people are a lot better than I am and are willing to take the nonsense a lot more than I would be able to. It's impressive, frankly. But, you know, you go in and you talk about a situation like this. Who pays for the damage that needs to be undone? You know, who pays to get all this stuff cleaned up? Who pays to get all these... Yeah, exactly. All the citizens that never went to Chaz or Chop, they never went there. They hated it the entire time, and they're the ones stuck paying for it because the mayor is terrible in every single way. That is something that, you know, that doesn't get... There's no refund for that, for those people. The people who actually run businesses, the people who actually go to work every day, the people who don't sit around smoking pot in the middle of Chaz, those aren't people who are paying for it. Raz Simone pays $0 to fix that community. Zero.
I have to tell you, I'm not sure that the people of Seattle are all that upset. I'm not. You know, I'm tired of hearing people saying, I'm totally with them on the cause. What is the cause? What is the cause? Because it's not about police brutality. As soon as they had Chaz, you saw what it was about. It wasn't about police brutality anymore. Yes, they still wanted to disband the police, which, I mean, it worked out well for those 6 blocks. Imagine how well it would work for the entire city. Well, just look, as they disbanded a task force in New York, shootings are up 400%. So it's a really good idea. But that's not what they wanted. They wanted a free and independent land. They want the abolishment of the United States of America. They want the destruction of the United States of America. So I don't have any sympathy for anybody who says, I agree with them wholeheartedly. I just don't like their tactics. Oh, okay, so you agree with socialism? Is that what you agree with? And I would say that many people in Seattle itself do, because they have elected socialist and communist city council members and mayors. I don't know about this mayor. She may just be a moron, but most likely she's a socialist moron. And so, you know, are the people of Seattle that? I don't know. And I wish them all the luck in the world. But don't come to my town. Don't come to my town. Columbus, what are you going to do? They're now talking about changing the name of your town to Flavor Town. What is wrong with you? We'll get into that story here in just a second. Stand by. Our sponsor this half hour is RecTech. Man, oh man alive. If you don't have a RecTech grill, you ain't living. RecTech, RECTEC Grills.com/Beck, RecTechGrills.com/Beck. There is a new sheriff in town, and he has totally revolutionized the very concept of grilling for me, and I think for anybody who tries a RecTech grill. I mean, it's the best. They have this really high-tech, what do they call it? It's a temperature sensor. It's smart technology, and everything is evenly heated. Everything is perfectly done, and it tastes. It's unbelievable. We were showing a picture on Blaze TV now of ham. I don't like ham. I really don't like ham. I complained when they put ham on the. It was delicious. It was really delicious.
Were you just really hungry, or did you have like 150 people over your house at the time you were grilling there? I mean, it was a lot of food on that grill.
We have literally had we've had 400 people at our house. And so there is baby Jesus could come in, and I'd have to say there's no room for you in the inn. Anyway. RecTech Grills, RECTEC Grills.com/Beck. That's RecTechGrills.com. Get yours now.
Car experience. Pick up in store or at the drive. Heineke is helping you hit.